Hi everyone, this is Kyle with kayDbait. I wanted to elaborate on something I brought up in my last video, which was the four things that make me feel valued or devalued, which was caring about something, trying to do something, or change it and make it better, succeeding or failing at whatever it is, and then the fourth one was how people respond to it and how people react to it and how it affects other people. So those are the four main things I wanted to elaborate on. I meant to do it in my last video. I didn't. And I just wanted to explain what I meant. Me as an individual, I care very deeply about the well-being of others, about the idea that other people should be given, a fair treatment, and situations can get out of hand very quickly, and people need to understand what's going on before they react, stuff like that. Because it's not always known what's going on or why people are doing things. So caring about something isn't enough. It's not everything, because caring about something but not knowing what's going on, or trying to, and then the next one is trying without understanding, like, I'm going to fix this problem though I don't know how, so I'm just going to do whatever and make it worse. The road to hell is paved in good intentions is from that. It's I meant well, but because I didn't know what I was doing, or because something else got in the way, it got worse. Good intentions are great. Caring is great. Trying is great, but it's not enough. And that's the third thing, which is failing or succeeding. You should not be considered less because you failed. You should try hard and try your best. But if you still fail because of extreme circumstance or outside influence, or because the situation wasn't as you understood, or just because something else happened, like trying to help this person and then they fixed it on their own. Okay, you didn't do it. Something else happened. Or, the outcome can still be good even though you failed, but it could also be really bad even though you think you succeeded. It's like, hey, I made this better even though in reality you made it much worse. So there's a lot of variables in that. And the fourth one is kind of the one that I have the most personal problem with, which is I have tried and succeeded in helping people, like, massively. I've gotten somebody out of debt. I've gotten somebody not to die. There are parts of my life that I'm very proud of my actions. Staying up all night talking to people for 8 hours a day just so they have somebody to talk to. It was very draining on my own life because it was a very emotional time for them, and it drained me as well because there was really deep things happening. And later on, they were okay, and I was very, very happy with that. But there are also people that I have done that for who then started using me as a battery of sorts. There's people that have used me as financial battery, emotional battery, where they're like, I need to talk to you now because I'm having a bad day. Okay, I'm going to be there, but you're not fixing your own problems. You're not dealing with your problems. You're using me as a crutch now. Now, I was there during your dark moment. You were having a really, really, really bad situation, and I was there. I helped. And now, instead of progressing from there, you just stay there. And this has happened to me several times, and it's happened to several of my friends who do the same thing I do. And we had to, all of us collectively, not at the same time, but eventually we hit this point where we cannot do it anymore. We are hurting because of this so much that we can't function anymore because of it. We've all had moments where we've just realized it's not helping them anymore. So we can care, we can try, and we could even succeed at helping these people, but it's not helping anymore. It's like they've started relying on us instead of relying on their own abilities at this point. And I've gotten to the point where they'd message me on Skype or they'd email me and say, I need to be here right now, I'm going to kill myself, every single day. And I would tell them, you need to see a counselor, you need to see somebody professional, at some point, somebody was so messed up, I said, you need medication. there is something wrong with your mind. You are having the worst mood swings ever. And they were having, their mind was broken, and they were supposed to be on meds. Apparently they were already diagnosed with something, and they weren't taking their medicine. I'm like, you have to take your medicine. Now, I don't want to take my medicine. It makes me mellow or whatever. It makes me sad. It's like, okay, then talk to them about it. Don't just stop taking it. But they wouldn't. They come to me and they're like, I need your help. I'm like, I can't do this anymore. It's been months. I told you what you needed to do. So they're not coming to me for help anymore. They're coming to me for this bandage that lets them continue doing what they're already doing. And it's not good. And that's what I meant when I said, it gives me this feeling of purpose, but I also have to understand. I have to know that what I'm doing isn't just perpetuating the problems. So caring is wonderful. Empathy is one of the most beautiful things we can have for each other. Trying to help is the active part of that. Being empathetic is like, yes, yes, yes. But then you're not doing anything about it. You're not actively trying to help people. There's no, besides the Good Samaritan kind of laws and stuff like that, there's really nothing forcing you to be a good person. Like if somebody's dying right next to you and you can save them, yes, you should do that morally. But if somebody's having a bad day, you don't have this moral obligation to, sit next to them and talk to them for a while. You don't have that. But it's a good thing to try that sometimes. It's to be active with your caring and understanding and empathy. And then whether you succeed or not, that's not necessarily completely up to you. It could be a situational anomaly, or maybe they just were having a bad day because something you did and now you're making it worse. You don't know. So you can still try and fail, but still trying is not necessarily good or bad, but it's generally good. I use generally twice in two different ways. I meant to say it's not inherently good or bad, but it's generally good. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, I apologize for that. I misspoke. But there are also people who, and this is what messes me up the most, because failure is one of my greatest fears, but one of my worst psychological issues comes from abuse. And by that I mean I have helped people and they have taken advantage of me. And whether it be purposefully, they planned it ahead of time. It's like, oh, this person's really giving. I'm going to take everything he's giving and give nothing back because I want it, which has happened to me several times in the past. And it was damaging to me. It gave me major trust issues because this was not one time and it was not small. It was very, very large. So I had, a few days ago, I had a very, very dark moment that because I felt like most of my life I had been taken advantage of. And it wasn't just that I had been taken advantage of, it's that these people exist, that all they do is take advantage of people that are kind and generous and good-natured, and so they take from them. They take all they can because they can, and those people do exist. They exist in every part of society. Anyone can do this, and it's easy to do because all you have to do is lie. All you have to do is set up a situation where you seem like you are in need when you are not, or be in need and just milk everything around you because you're not fixing it yourself. You're just, woe is me. I'm purposely in this situation so others will take care of me. So I wrote a thing a few days ago that was really, really sad, and I posted it on my Facebook, and people immediately started messaging me because they were worried about me because they thought I was emotionally, distraught, and I kind of was, but it was why is the world such a bad place? Why are so many bad people in it? Why is it that good people, genuinely giving, selfless people, are seen as the problem for opportunity makes the thief. That's the mentality that is being presented in this case. It's why is it that if I trust you just because you're a human being, if I say, you look like you need help, or you look like, you're having a bad time, or you even say you're having a bad time, so I try to help. Here's a dollar, or here's, a voucher for some food, which I've done in the past, which I thought was pretty cool. Though I really don't think it worked, because I think they just wanted money for something else. But because they got mad at me when I gave them a food voucher instead of money, and I thought, well, then you don't want food. But when somebody gives whatever, their time, their energy, money, resources, whatever, when somebody gives, they're seen as naive. They're seen as marks, or as just whatever. They're seen as, if you weren't giving these people the money, then you wouldn't be in the situation you're in now. You put yourself in that situation. It's your fault. No, I disagree with that. I understand that foolishly giving to somebody who has already proven themselves to be dishonest, yes, that's a problem. I don't, like, if somebody burns me, I do still have empathy for them, because I feel badly that they are such a horrible person and that no one will ever care about them, legitimately, only their lies. I do feel bad about that. And, in my own mind, that's kind of messed up anyway, because I think of them as a parasite, but they kind of are. And, since they have hurt me directly, it is hard to differentiate the emotional from the logical about certain people. There's only 2 people in the world that I actually hate, because both of them have taken advantage of me and were proud of it, afterwards gloating about how they got me for so much. One of them was $4,000, and that was just BS, and they gloated about it later, and I ended up taking him to court and winning because they were gloating about it. But recording devices and whatnot were used. But that was just a horrible, horrible time. But people like that exist, and what they do is they can be very proud of themselves for what they do. They are just the worst kind, and I use this term, they are the worst kind of human. They're not necessarily the worst human, because that's subjective to what they've accomplished. So you can say Hitler or Stalin or Mussolini or whatever, they succeeded in what they want. But I know people that, if they had the power, would do that. So they're the worst kind of person. That's the phrasing that I use, is if you give them power, they will abuse it. That's what I mean. And why is there so much of that, and why do they vilify, or just, they say that the victims, the people that are taken advantage of, it's their own fault. It's like, if you weren't such a tool, or if you weren't so, squeamish, or if you weren't such a pushover, then these people wouldn't take advantage of you, instead of dealing with the people that are taking advantage of them to begin with. Oh, they're just bullies, just brush them off. They shouldn't be that way. There's something causing this. There's, maybe there's trouble in their home, or maybe they were raised to take what they can because their parents were that way, or, maybe they've just gotten to the point where they just don't care, so they're going to become violent, or thieves or whatever. That doesn't make the generous person wrong, unless they are being ignorant and like, hey, this person, I'm not even going to look into them, give them all my money or whatever. But there are times when somebody has legitimately needed something, and to brush them off because you don't know means that person is going to suffer because of something you could have solved. It's like third world countries. They're suffering. They're dying for no reason. So we try to give them money, but we give money to corporations or whatever that are saying they're going to give them money, and they actually donate 9 cents on the dollar, which that exists, and then they abuse it, and the money that they do send over gets taxed by the government, and it's just... it makes it hard to care as much, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't care just because there's abuse. That's the issue. That is the major issue I have, is there is so much abuse that they're trying to put it on the people that are being abused instead of the people that are abusing. So we have to fix the system. We have to fix our culture as a people, as a race. All of us have the potential to be monsters. All of us have the potential to be saints. All of us have the potential to give everything we have to those that need it, and still have everything, because we are, as a society, can take care of each other. We just don't want to. And I've mentioned that before. If we wanted to, today, we can solve all the problems that are man-made. War, poverty is, a construct of our economy. Not having enough food. We have enough food. The planet just in small parts of it make enough food for the entire planet. We just don't have the drive to be able, and obviously we have cultural differences around the world as well that prevent us from helping each other in ways that we want. But as humans, we all have this innate ability to act in a way that is good or bad. It's you can debate about spirituality, you can debate about what is right or wrong, specifically for each culture, but there are universal moral and ideological things that are just true, and you can debate them, and I would gladly talk about these things and give you the reasons why I believe that. I'm not saying, there's only one reason for it, or there's only one, positive and negative for them or whatever. We can have that discussion. I am saying that this is what I believe, and I believe it very strongly, and I would really like to live in the world where this is true. And that's really what ideological ideas are. It's the world I want to live in, therefore I'm going to believe that's the way it is. I think the world would be a very good place if everyone was just to say, hey, those starving people, give them food. Those people that need medicine, give them medicine. That person that's, struggling for purpose, give them a job. This person that's killing a whole bunch of people, keep him away from the people he's killing and try to rehabilitate him. I mean, give him medicines, or give him, keep him away from the population because he's murdering people, but also don't just lock him up so that he's, tormented forever either. There's reasons for these. There's reasons. There's rehabilitation was the purpose of prison. That was its function, and we don't treat it that way anymore. It's not rehabilitation anymore. It's incarceration, which is to isolate and prevent them from further committing crimes. We don't treat it that way. We keep them as, these things that don't do anything ever, and they're not getting better. When they leave prison, they're usually worse. So the system is not working. We have a system in place that has an idea. It has a reason, but the reason isn't being worked out properly. So it needs to be fixed. And I'm not saying that this is the main focus of this video. I'm not saying we need to work on all that right now, but it's a symptom and it's a problem. Our culture, United States, our culture has become very different than what we idealize it as. We say it's the greatest country in the world. We have the best freedom in the world. We have the best culture, and we have the best economy, and we have the best leaders. Potentially, we could be great. That's the thing, is we could be great, and we are great, and everything is great, though it's not great because of this or that. And we argue and bicker and yell at each other, and we kill each other, and we fight each other all the time because we don't agree. And I think that it's more important to understand the situations and then be able to fix them. So caring is really, really... If you care, you are already a little bit in a better place than somebody that doesn't care. If you just don't care about something, you can know everything about it, you can understand it. If you're just I'm not going to deal with that, you're probably not going to act if you don't care, unless there's an incentive, and then you do care, like money or political ideology, saying, hey, I'm going to go volunteer or whatever. So there could be different reasons, but then you care. So I'm going to, maybe I'm getting paid for this, or maybe it's because I believe that it's the right thing to do, or, maybe I'm bored or whatever. You try, you do something, and then you can fail or succeed depending on the situation, depending on what's going on. It's okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this big thing. And it's okay, and you fail or succeed or whatever. And then people look at it, and maybe they don't care, or maybe they do care, and maybe they misinterpret it. And then you have this big country that is just reactive because of all the stuff that's happening right now. And we don't know because we don't have the time, or we don't have the energy to look into it. So we care, but we don't know what we're doing. So we act. We try to fix things by doing our own thing, and it messes things up more. And then there's bad people taking advantage of the entire thing, and they're one of the biggest problems. So education is really important because then you understand things. Holding people accountable for their actions so that they don't have the ability to continuously corrupt something, continuously harm something because they want something out of it. That's kind of important. When somebody hurts somebody or something, or they're caught doing something that's really, really bad for their own sake, greed or whatever, that person should be treated with the accountability for their actions fairly. It's like, hey, if they're laundering money into their own bank account or whatever, they should not be given access to money anymore. They should be rehabilitated so they don't want to do that anymore. Stuff like that. They shouldn't just be locked up for the rest of their lives, because that's not necessarily equal to their crime. It's not fixing the problem. It's just preventing them doing it in the future. Rehabilitating them, making them a better person, that's kind of good. I'm not saying reformation where you control their mind or actions, but showing them the error of their ways in a positive and good way, that it's non-invasive and non-destructive. Those are good. They're very, very, very difficult, which is probably why we don't do it, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't try. So right now, there's a couple of things, and I'm trying not to get political, but there are people that care. People just kind of throw politics out the windows, like nobody cares, they're all corrupt, whatever. There are people that do care, and there are people that understand the problems and that are trying to fix the problems, and the biggest way to do it is obviously within the entire culture. And apparently the way we see it is the president. The president is trying to fix everything, or the president has the power to fix everything. Though I don't agree fully. I believe that, individuals can help. People within corporations that have influence can help. Anyone who is everyone can help. They just need to do their part. And obviously it's really, really hard, because you feel like you're not making a difference, because there's all these other things that are happening that are causing problems. So you're just a drop in the ocean. Though that doesn't mean that it's not worth it. I mean, every drop is what makes the ocean. So maybe you can cause a ripple. Maybe you can cause a wave. And maybe that wave was good. So all of these people are saying what they want, but they're not necessarily reflective of that. They're saying something, and you don't know if it's true or not. We're so apathetic. We're so uncaring about, we get passionate about it. But we don't care. We don't care enough to understand what's going on. We're like, okay, I agree with him, or I agree with him, or I hate him, or, this is my political party, so I'm going to run for them because they're going to give me something. And there's so much. It's not caring. It's, I can get something from this. It's a motivator for sure, but it's bad. It's selfish. It's ignorance. Because, okay, I'm going to vote for this guy because he's against this thing that I hate. So cool. And then I don't care about anything else, so I'm just going to vote for that guy. It's like, no, you have to understand what they're going to do, if it's going to work, all the other things that they're trying to do. Are they going to work with people, or are they just going to push them around? Do they actually believe what they're saying, or are they just saying it for votes? Because it's politics are very complex for the same reason that, economics are really complex. There's so much back history to it. There's so many things in play that have been made more complex because people want to get their own little thing in there, and they want, it to work the way they want it to, and everyone else wants to do the same thing. So they're all they all built this machine with different ideas in mind. So, early on, it was probably just as broken, but probably less complex. But we've built this giant machine that nobody knows how it works anymore. And with changing technology and changing ideologies of the people and the world economy and the world politics and UN doing stuff and other countries doing stuff, we don't know how it works anymore. And right now, nobody knows what's happening, but everyone thinks they knows what is happening, so they're all going to just spout their own opinions as fact when it's not fact. And we have to understand that we don't understand, so that we can start learning, so we can start fixing things. I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to desperately, because I want things to go for the better. I want things to go for the people that are being honest and who are being, considerate and being fair. I want those people to be in charge, because I think that is one of the best things we can have, is somebody that that cares for a good reason, that tries fairly, who has the ability to succeed, though may not because of, extraneous circumstances, but who is trying to succeed over and over again. So eventually they probably will. And the last one, I want other people to understand that they're trying. Because when somebody tries and they fail, and they try and they fail, and they try and they fail, people will start getting cynical about them. It's like, oh, they're just a failure. It doesn't matter if they're trying. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because they're a failure. And that happened to me. That I fail all the time. I used to fail all the time. And I became apathetic because nobody cared that I was trying. I became, angry because I was being accused of purposely failing when I wasn't. It's like, no, I'm not purposely failing. This is really difficult for me. So they're like, well, I can do it. It's like, you're not doing it. You're pushing it on me, and then you're making fun of me for failing every day for a long time. So people try and they fail. So you have to take that and understand it. You have to know why it happened. People try and succeed, and again, you have to know why they succeeded. Is it because they did a good job, or is it because something else happened? I'm gonna knock down this wall, and then you walk up and you punch it, and then somebody on the other side of the wall actually blew it up. So, the wall fell, but this guy did it. No, you didn't do it. Somebody else did it. Understand things. Understand all the situational circumstances so that you can better educate yourself and make better decisions in the future. And it's just so... This is me trying to explain what gives me purpose as well. Is I try, I care, I try, I fail or succeed, and then people react to it. Like these videos, I'm trying, I'm failing making these videos a lot of the time. Either I delete the video or I post it and I get 1 or 0 views. My last one got 4 views, which I'm actually surprised about already because it's only been a day. And this one, I don't know. Do I care if I get a lot of views? I appreciate everyone who watches my videos. I appreciate people in general anyway, but if you're seeing my videos and you're responding to my videos in some way, then I appreciate that you're taking the time to respond, to interact, to add something to the conversation. Because that's what I want people to do, is add to the conversation. Don't detract from it. Don't attack it. The conversation, like some people say, it's not a conversation. It's just, whatever, this is fact, shut up, or whatever. And then they attack everybody until they're pushed into submission. It's happened to me before, where they tried to do that. They threatened me with violence for no reason. It's like, I might make that into another video where I'll actually read the quotes and stuff like that. It's like, it was stupid. It was bad. I was threatened with murder and lobotomy for defending somebody who was being attacked. I'm like, what? Why? Why would you attack somebody who is making a defensive statement for somebody else who's being unfairly attacked? And I'll probably do that in my next video. Actually, I'll comment on that, and I'll read what was said, because I actually screenshotted it because I didn't want it to be deleted and then somebody deny that it happened, because I wanted to show a friend, and I had this conversation and it was insane. So that'll be my next video. I'll make it right now actually, and I hope this was helpful. I hope I didn't get too far off. So have a nice day and peace.